Well, I've got to be honest with you here. Things have been going a little bit too well, and they've been a little bit too easy at Sporting Lisbon. In these last three jobs, I've been really disappointed by the lack of competitiveness of the other big sides. But today, things could all change because we've got our first chance to win silverware in the Portuguese League Cup Final. And it's the battle of the top two as we face champions Benfica, who are looking to win their first of the season as well. We haven't had a defeat since Nottingham Forest in August, but that was the last huge game we played, with a couple of key injuries heading into this one. Let's see how we get on. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 57 of the Coach's Head with me, Daniel. You can see from the bottom right of the screen there is financial trouble at the football club that is struggling to cope without European football. So it's a good job that it looks like we'll be taking them back to the Champions League next year. We're top of the table by 3 points from Benfica. And even though Benfica probably still will win the league, and the fact that they've been able to pick up points and stay with us this year, for a side that was sixth, hadn't been in the top two more than once in the last 15 years, I just feel it's been a little bit too easy to get back amongst the elite and to stay consistent. Now, maybe if we'd had Thursday night football, this would have been a very different story. But Benfica and Porto in particular have got much stronger squads than us. And Porto, if you look at them, they've had a shocking year. So if you're looking forward to seeing how we do in this one, as we play both the League Cup final and the first leg of the Portuguese Cup semi, against lower league opposition, bizarrely, and please do put a thumbs up on it. That's my only other complaint for this year as well. Loads of lower league teams in the later stages of the cup, which is great if you're a neutral, but it's not really that realistic, is it? For us, we've got Pedro Mendes, the young superstar, out. Callum Doyle, first choice centre-half, injured as well. And with Gabia declining, that could be difficult. But as you can see, Neves and Alvarez, they're two experienced stars, may well be missing for them as well. We'll see if they make it. First, though, we've got to have a look at a lot of results and at the transfer window. A really bizarre January transfer window, actually, because this final has been delayed 2 or 3 times already. It's been pushed back, and we've played loads of games off camera since. So, let me show you what happened in January, because it was an odd month. We start with the outs, and we begin with one of the backup defenders, Kubik, moving on. He was playing as a sort of backup right back, fourth choice centre half. He didn't feature much, but he was a handy player to have. The one that really upset me though, and the one that may prove to be most costly today, is Mamadou Fernandes. Because we talk about this competition where you've got to have two Portuguese under-21s in a lineup. And with Mamadou Fernandes gone, that's going to be a lot trickier without weakening the team. He was just starting to get going as well. He scored a couple of league goals from 8 substitute appearances. He'd scored 4 in the cup. He was starting to push down and become first choice with Hervenhov injured as well. And then he was loaned out just as he would have played more games. So really frustrating that. I'm sure he'll do well at Sporting Gijón, but I'm a little bit annoyed he's not with us still. The other one that left the club was a youngster, Walter Camoes. He has gone to Brighton for a couple of million. Big sell-on clause there, which is helpful. But another young striker who would have been just behind the other one. So makes it even more frustrating over the course of the month. The ins then become a little bit more bizarre because there were 3 players that joined. 2 of them youngsters. Nelson Miguel, who is a decent young left winger, got potential. So for a B team signing, that's not bad. And Simon Akabi, who again, not the best player in the world, but a young English centre half. Certainly got a bit of talent, certainly close to the squad. He's not a disastrous player, but not going to be featuring for our first team anytime soon. And then the only first team addition was Adam Asnu, who is a lone player from West Ham United. But he's a left back. Now, we've already got Volken. We've already got Kirkes, the starter. We've got 2 very good left backs. Doyle can play there as well. Then at right back, we've not got an awful lot, as we mentioned, with a racing and not much backup. So to then go and sign another left back when we've set the squad planner perfectly does seem a little bit odd. He can cover, I think, at right back, which isn't too bad. He can, but it's not ideal. And again, we're playing with sort of square pegs in round holes at this point. But it was a signing that helped us in terms of the defence, but it didn't really make sense, especially then when you've let Kubik gone, one of the other players who could play right back. Just seemed a little bit baffling, but that's where we're primarily going to use him now. What that's done to the results, though, is not a lot, because this Portuguese league, has not offered up a great deal. We've had a couple of frustrating draws, which may end up costing us the title. And from a realism point of view, I kind of hope it does. But overall, it's just been very comfortable. You were with me for the final two games before the January window as we beat Boa Vista heavily and Estoril in the way that champions would. That was when Mamadou Fernandes was starring for us. After that, we won in the fifth round of the Portuguese Cup. Fortunately, we had to come back from behind against Santa Clara, an arrogant first half display. But Gabriel Silva equalised, and the experience of Dan Braganca on off the bench to get us the winner from the spot. A 3-0 win at home to Chavez, thanks to Silva, Mendes and Zacarias, two of the young players working their way into first team contention there. Against PTM, it was a 7-0 victory. Otavio, Telehovsky, Kirkes, Zacarias, Braganca with two, and Mamadou Fernandes with another, his final goal before going out on loan. Against Aruca, a frustrating 1-1 draw after an early goal. We thought we were going to run away with it. Zacarias got us off the mark, but we then fell away. We did, though, win the League Cup semi-final by 4-2, a backup side, and the emergence of a young goalkeeper, Jose Goyas, who may well have to start today to meet the quota, which is not ideal. He came into the team. Vasco Souza, Continella, Garçal and Silva scored. Now, Garçal would be the other contender to start. But this is the problem here. We've got Pedro Mendes injured, so it's probably Garçal and Goyas. And that makes our team a lot weaker, as good as they are. And he's got a knock as well. This is turning into a right disaster. Let's move on to the other 5 games because we beat Chavez by 5-1. A hat-trick for Gabriel Silva and 2 for Salvador Garçal, the youngster we just looked at. A goal from Braganca equalised from the spot against Estrella in a disappointing display at home. We scored both the goals in that game as well because Callum Doyle got the own goal to open it. In the Cup 6th round, or the quarter-final as it was, we beat Paredes by 4-1. Redondo got a late one after Mendes, Continella and Zacarias had put us 3-1 up. Against Oliverense, we won by 5-2 in the league. Otavio, Zacarias, Kirkes and Silva's brace. He's been playing up front most of the last month and he's been remarkable. Now he's fit and firing. We're seeing what we were missing at the start of the year. If only we'd had him in this form when we were playing Forest. We then snuck a victory last time out, which was not all that convincing. Another own goal, which is becoming a bit of a worry, as Silva and Otavio scored our goals. If we go through to the medical centre, you can see the injuries that are a worry for me. Pedro Mendes is out and misses this game of all games when we need 2 under-21s. And the other players missing are not ideal, with 5 who have recently returned from injury, showing just how light we are in certain areas. So let's go and get through the fixtures. Benfica are the side we're facing in the final. They've got quality everywhere. Rodrigo Ribeiro still going up front. Mane at centre-half. And Neves apparently has made it in the middle. So let's see what 11 we can put out. Who are they recommending I start? They are saying our under-21 should be Tom Guignard. Oh, wow. That is not a good sign, is it? And Miguel Costa. I'm not sure about that one either. I'm going to see if I can find anyone better. But a scramble for under-21s due to injuries and stupid players being loaned out by Director of Football. Not the ideal preparation for this final. Will it cost us a trophy though? Let's get our 11 picked here. We'll be back in a minute to run through it. Well, I don't know if you would get punished for this in real life, but I've made an executive decision. I cannot find someone of the starting quality. So I've put Salima Garçal in, and I'm going to give him about 15 minutes to prove that he's fit and capable. And if not, I'm going to take him off and bring on one of the subs. We've got Zacarias, we've got Hervenhov, etc. I've also dropped Rivera, the left winger, because he's been in woeful form. And I've also gone for Goyas in goal, but we've got Alemdar there if we need him. I've also gone for Redondo over Continella, just because he's fully match fit. And Otavio over Zacarias, because he's been in good form. So that means our 11 in full today is Goyas in goal. For how long, I don't know. Erasing and Kirkes the fullbacks with Lukoski alongside Gabby at a centre-half due to the Doyle injury. Little bit worried about that because he's declining physically. In midfield is Telehovsky and Redondo setting the base. Otavio, Fatawu and Garçal, the 3 ahead of them. And then up front is Silva, the man who's in form, with Hervenhov returning to fitness on the bench. Benfica are waiting. I wonder what under-21s they've gone for. I can promise you one thing from the offset. They'll be a little bit fitter than our right winger. Well, here is the 11 that Benfica have gone for, and I'm guessing 2 of these 4 players that have come in, definitely not Filippo Mane, are players who are going to be part of the under-21 brigade. It does look like João Neves is missing out. He's not made it. Who was the other one who was injured? It was Alvarez, wasn't it? He's not in the squad either. Nicolo Zaniolo, another experienced player there. Let's go and tell the boys to prove a point. Let's see what under 21s they've gone for. Is it the goalkeeper? I think it is. No, he's a 23-year-old. So who else is the under 21? Jailson Neves? Oh, wow. There is an academy prospect from Portuguese football that is definitely going to make it. Who would be the other one then? They must have one in the squad naturally, have they? The other centre midfielder? Oh, wow. The other centre midfielder is a 17-year-old and he's just as good. Both of them are probably as good as Redondo already. That's the level we're talking about. Just noticed Giovanni Reyna's on the bench as well. There's a few good senior players here. But for now, let's go and get through to the first half. See if our hobbling man can make it. I mean, I guess in fairness, if Mendes had been fully fit, we'd have had a superstar teenager in as well. But as it is, we're playing with one on one leg, who's not that great anyway, and a goalkeeper who's pretty subpar. Hopefully, we can keep it away from his goal as Redondo plays a 1-2 with Kirkes early. Good ball in. Garçal's the man up, but he's not fit enough to jump for that. He does pick it up on the right, though. How's that hamstring? Doesn't matter. We've given it away, though. Redondo back to Fatawu. Is he onside? We've switched him to the left purely to fit Garçal in here. And he seems to have come up with the opening goal. It looked miles off to me. But it's been awarded. Someone was clearly well behind the offside line. And Abdul Fatawu, after 9 minutes, has given Sporting Lisbon the lead. We're 1-0 up against Benfica. And I'm starting to get quite excited here. 20 minutes gone. No shot on target for the visitors. That's probably a good job with the keeper we've got in. And we have got a corner with Fatawu. Can he turn provider? Telehovsky on the bicycle kick. I'm pretty sure he would have had a better chance if he just headed that in. It was at head height as well. But for some reason, he went for the spectacular. It's a free kick for Benfica. And this is where we're in trouble because we've not got the massive height and we've certainly not dealt with that routine well. The centre-half surprised everyone. He peeled off and came short. They played it into the midfielder, the youngster. And he curled one just wide. But we're still ahead with half an hour gone. And I couldn't have dreamt for it to go this well, to be honest. Still a bit worried about the morale. I mean, we're winning. We're playing well. Cheer up, lads. It's not so bad. You're in a League Cup final. You're doing all right. Half time, we're going to be 1-0 up by the looks of it. And I'm pretty happy with that display. I think we've got to take Garçal off because he's struggling a little bit physically. Who else could we bring on in his place, though? I don't really want to move Fatawu over. I think despite that, we're going to have to. So we're going to bring on Zacharias. We're going to go Fatawu right, Otavio left, and Zacharias number 10. Temptation was to bring on Hervenhoff, but he's not fully fit. And we can always do that later for Otavio, for example, if we do need to make another sub later. As you can see, from the match ratings, it is the right back of Racing who's the worst on the pitch again. We'd have just got a replacement there in January. I'd feel so confident. Gabia does go wide to a Racing, though. He's got a chance to prove me wrong. Plays all the way back to the centre-half. Gabia looks for him again, but instead finds Redondo. And he's worked his way wide. It's not the best there. Kenan down the left-hand side. And this is a chance for Benfica to break. Can we force them backwards and stifle out the attack? Here comes Makino flying down the wing to João Rego. Chance to cross. There's 3 in the middle. Redondo and Fatawu combine. They're clear to Zacharias. And now we've got the chance to break. Zacharias down the right-hand side. Man in the middle if he can find him. He doesn't need to, though. João Neves is on the injured midfielder. And he's straight away given away a penalty. It's a stupid challenge, but it's a lovely little touch from Zacharias. Feinted to come inside. Flicked it down the line. And Neves outstretched that leg. And Zacharias more than happy to oblige and go over him. Now can we take the chance from the penalty kick with Telehovsky? Oh, he's hit it straight at the goalkeeper. You absolute pillock. Straight at the goalkeeper. And with an hour gone, it's now suddenly got a bit nervy in here again. Let's get Otavio off. I'm going to go against my better judgment and bring on the experience of Rivera. Because surely he's going to turn up at some point. Telehovsky's missed a pen, but I'm not taking him off. I am going to go for the more defensive right back, though. Volison, naturally a centre-half. He's going to come on and play out there. 25 remaining. The yellow cards are stacking up for Benfica. And it's been a really good performance from us so far. But it's only 1-0. We're playing top-class opposition. And we know what that could mean later. Though Fatawu has done incredibly well to make something of that long ball downfield. In the end, though, just snuffed out. It was about 3-on-1. He couldn't quite get round all of them. As Reyna plays up to Kenan. That's a good touch. Inside on his right foot to Ribeiro. And that's the problem when you play sides of this quality. They only need one chance. We should have been 2 up. We should have been game over. And instead, we're now back on level terms. And we've got to think about what we do, because I'm not sure how we get the best out of this team now. I'm going to take Kirkes off for Volken. I'm going to take Telehovsky off for Continella, because he's just completely lost his barbels now. He's lost his mentality. And then for extra time, if we end up going there, it will either be Braganca for the penalty taking, or it will have to be Hervenhoff for Silva, who's had a poor game. I think it'll probably be Braganca though. 2 minutes to go. There's nothing in it at the minute. It was a dominant first hour from us. We should have made it 2 from the penalty spot. But the big game curse, that always strikes the penalties. And now we're going straight to them. We don't get another sub. Oh my God, look at our penalty takers. I mean, you could say the penalty taking rating doesn't matter. And this will be the ultimate proof. Does the attribute matter at all? Telehovsky was better than all of these and he missed one. How will these boys deliver? Why is Gabriel Silva only 6? I'm going to go Rivera first. I'm going to go Gabia. I'm going to go Gabriel Silva. I'm going to go Fatawu. I'm going to go Zacharias. I'm basically going for the best strikers of the ball who aren't that nervous, apart from Zacharias. We're then going to go Redondo. We're going to go Volleson. I mean, once you're under 10, I don't think there's really much difference between them. We'll go for Continella and we'll go for Volken. And we've got a young keeper in goal who could be the hero. The kid has got the chance to deliver the goods as we head into penalties against Benfica. The game should have been out of sight at the hour mark. But here we go. We've got to deal with this now. I mean, at least I'm going into this with no hope. It's not one I'm hoping to win and then it goes wrong. Rivera has scored the first one. That's a start at least. With the penalty takers out, you'd be amazed if we won this. Giovanni Reina is first up for Benfica. He's been there and worn the t-shirt. And he's put the ball in the corner. Goyas not quite able to get there. Not got the biggest reach. Not got the biggest agility, Goyas. He's a young keeper who's not great physically. As Gabia, the Italian centre-half. That's a lovely penalty. 2-1 to Sporting Lisbon. And so far, so good. As the man who equalised stepped up. A man we've managed in this year's head coach, the original save at Bayern. Ribeiro into the corner. Well placed. Good positioning. And the goalkeeper's got no real chance. Now it's our star striker, our in-form man. But he's a terrible penalty taker. Gabriel Silva, right-footed. Smashes it down the middle. Why does the penalty taking attribute matter? You have watched my Twitch save with Aberdeen. Penalty takers regular at 18, 16 and 15 for their attribute. They miss bundles of them. Here, as Benfica hit the bar, our penalty takers have had a rating of 8, 7 and 6 and have all scored. If Fatawu can add to that club now, we could be one kick away. Fatawu, saved, right on cue. Why did I even threaten to curse it by talking about it? What a way to jinx it. Solbacken's up for Benfica. Goyas can't be the hero. Goes the wrong way. And now we're at sudden death. It's 3-3 after 4 apiece. The next one who misses, you would imagine, is going to cost his team the cup final. Zacharias for us was looking nervous. Didn't show it with the penalty. Really good finish from the young player. Shame he's not a year younger, because we would have had a stronger team today. But Goyas, this kid could be a hero. All you've got to do is find any way to keep this penalty out. I don't even care if you save it. João Neves gave us the chance to win by giving us the penalty and a chance to make it 2-0. Now he steps up right-footed and he makes it 4 apiece. How long will this go on for? Redondo. I was going to say another poor taker. I think you know that about all of them. Steps up right-footed. Drills it in the corner. What is your attribute and why is it so low? That is a beautiful penalty. Hit with pace into the corner side netting. No chance of that being saved by any goalkeeper. As Goyas is back between the sticks again. We're now down to the Benfica takers who can't take one either. And this teenager has got the opportunity. He spreads his arms. Carlos sends him the wrong way. Bukowski is next up. He is actually the best penalty taker on the pitch with an attribute of 8. What can he do? He looked nervous, but he somehow got it in the corner. I'd argue the keeper should have saved it. I think we're seeing here that Benfica have got their sub-keeper in and we've got an 18-year-old third choice in. I think that's showing in this shootout so far because some of these penalties haven't been great, but they found their way in and we're still with the advantage in this sudden death. Morato steps up. Come on, keeper. I mean, that's so poor. He had enough time to react after that was taken and just saunter across and catch it. Now it's Volleson, our sub right back. He steps up and it's saved. We said the next miss will be costly. We've got to the 8th taker and we've only missed one until now. But Vollerson is the man who adds to that tally. And I would imagine, unless Goyas can do something he hasn't looked like doing all shootout, hasn't saved one, don't forget, the only one that missed did not hit the target, then we are going to be losing this final on penalties. There it is, into the top corner. That is some penalty to finish it, by the way. Emphatic into the roof of the net. And it's Benfica who win on penalty kicks. The first trophy of the season has gone. My record in cup finals is usually phenomenal in FM. This year, it has been a disaster across the board. You've seen plenty of that in the South End save. I'm right into it here with Benfica, who have managed to nick one from us here. A 1-1 draw in a game we should have been out of sight. And a tale of missed penalties, both in the 90 minutes and in a shootout, has cost us the trophy. I don't want to see them lift it. I mean, I'm not going to agree with the assistant here saying we should be happy. We've just lost the cup final. I'm not happy about it. It was a chance to win and it was taken away. The only positive we've got is we're next in a semi-final of the Portuguese Cup. And in that one, I'm pretty sure both of the big boys are out. We've got a bit of a surprise year here. So yeah, look, I mean, if we don't win this now, that's a disaster. We've got lower league opposition v Oliverense in the other semi-final. They're 8th in the league at the minute. And then us v second tier opposition in the other semi-final. If we don't win the Portuguese Cup, I will start to question myself. Well, it's been another odd week in this bizarre season and this strange save overall. We are back with bundles of fitness tests, but it's been a bit of mixed news for the last few days. Firstly, we've now lost Geronimo Rivera for 3 months. That's his season over, with Mendes out and Pinto out for the season as well. Not a particularly good look for us at the minute. However, we have had a surprise in the other Portuguese Cup match. We're playing Morense today. In the other game, the semi-final was won by the second tier side by 2-0. So hopefully there won't be a repeat of that here. But they are a side we beat in the League Cup, so it would be great if we could get them in the final. Let's get through the tactical meeting because we've got a few adjustments to make. I have made a couple of changes to the 11 already. I'm not sure if I want to do anything else because I've brought Alemdar back in goal, as you would imagine. I've also put Fatawu back to the right, Otavio to the left, Zacharias in the middle. The youngster Garçal drops out. Don't want to risk his fitness, and he's not as good, to be honest. But otherwise, I've gone to stick with it, apart from Doyle, who comes back in after injury. He comes in at centre-half, and we go back to our usual two. But I don't want to go mad with this. I still don't have a fully fit Hervenhoff, so I've got to leave him on the bench. Gabia obviously drops down, as does Garçal. And then Goyas is out of the squad entirely. I think we're going to stick with that. There's a temptation at left back, but Kirkes now does seem a little bit better. So we're trying to build fitness up for certain players. We just want to avoid any chance of a shock. So we're going strong in the first leg. Let's try and get the job done handsomely and convincingly. And then we can rest people for the second one and focus on the title race. Well, it's a two-legged affair in a semi-final of the Portuguese Cup. So it's all about trying to get a very convincing lead. In the first half, making sure we take the opportunities, because I think you can see from the crowd here, there's a little bit of apathy from the supporters. We're in a cup semi-final. Yes, it's not the nicest draw on paper, but the stadium's half empty. More so, really, 19,000 in. So let's see if we can put on a show for those who have turned up, because with 10 gone, no shot on target yet. We've got a throw on the right with a racing. Zacharias plays it back to him. Can we get that opener with Redondo? Good save by the goalkeeper. Parried it back into trouble. Mendonca cleared the danger. Kirkes picks it up again though. Redondo finds Otavio into Zacharias. It was close for offside, but it's not given. And we go 1-0 up. Zacharias with the goal. Really done well this second half of the year. I mentioned the fact that he'd struggled whenever he played early in the season. But now he is starting to find form. He's only, what, 23 maybe? Yeah, he's just turned 23 today. It's his birthday. Birthday goal for Zacharias. But from the academy, we've got another superstar. If you look at people like him and Mendes, the future is bright here. As Laskowski wins the header, gets it forward to Fatawu, has the runner through the middle, but just delayed the pass. Telehovsky, the man who will be feeling quite guilty about the cup final, I think. Or maybe not, he's just giving it away there. Could beat his confidence for the season, couldn't it? As Otavio goes back to Kirkes. Plays into midfield for Otavio again, and Redondo up to Zacharias. Got runners off him, but instead just holds on to it and goes wide. Took it too long, but the back pass is terrible. And so Silva's finish. He's not been convincing the last couple of games. We've talked about the great form he's been in. He's been scoring hatfuls. But when it's really mattered again, he's not stepped up. A player who goes quiet in the big games. As we lose the header from the corner, it's cleared away. But with 15 gone, we're dominant. And the question really should be about how many we win by here. I'd like it to be 3 or 4 with a second leg in mind. As Fatawu chips a free kick down the right to Silva. Can he turn provider? Back to Fatawu. Shots blocked. Laskowski up. It's bobbling around all over the place. And in the end, Otavio unmarked a yard out. And even he, not the best in the air, can nod into the empty net. 2-0, a very dominant performance. And the cup final is going to be on the horizon. The question is, will we bottle it again? As Laskowski picks the ball up at the back. Really struggling with cup finals at the minute. We've had it all year in FM24. But surely this one, if we get there, won't be a problem. As Otavio up to Zacharias. Now Silva. Support down the right-hand side. Plays to Fatawu. That's some effort. Off the corner of the woodwork. That's a cracking shot from him. Nearly caught the keeper off guard. Certainly surprised me. We're 10 to the break. It's 2-0. It's comfortable. I still need more goals if we're going to rest people's second leg. There's a free kick on the left full of visitors. And the last thing we want to do is give them a lifeline or a chance to close the gap because they haven't deserved it. Costa's got the ball 30 yards out to Diaz though. And we've gone a little bit ball watching. We've chased down the wrong men. We've lost our shape a little bit. Diaz with the big switch. Beme at the back post. Cleared away by Doyle. Now we want to counter them, but we've lost it. Kirkes wins the second ball though. And Zacharias up to Silva, who's dropped deep for Fatawu. He's on the right-hand side. Racing's trying to get up in support. But Fatawu's just gone alone. He's not waiting for it. Cuts it back to Zacharias. Now wide to Racing. Into Fatawu. Onto that left foot. Oh, it's magic. It's off the woodwork again. It's so unfortunate. Otavio with another header. That one straight at the keeper. It's not so easy when he's not got an empty net. But goal and assist already for him. We can't complain too much. Fatawu's the unfortunate man. At half-time, it's 2-0. It's a brilliant display. But can we push on and get more goals? Hopefully, the second-tier team will tire as the game goes on. Costa picks the ball up in the middle for Hernandez. Might be a good game to reintroduce Hervenhoff this because it's an opportunity for Silva to then go into that Fatawu position and then maybe to have a centre-forward who can just snuff out chances in the box. As Doyle, forced out to the left-hand side, finds Otavio. He's giving it away. That's arrogant. It's into the box. What are you doing? Someone talk back there. In the end, we get away with it as Fatawu releases Silva. It might even lead to a scoring. Silva tries to dink the keeper. That's arrogant. Just go through and slide it in the corner. Stop trying to be silly. You've got an opportunity. Fatawu down the right-hand side. He's got space to run into. And we're starting to take a few liberties with these chances. Telehovski's down. We all know what's coming now. It's going to be a penalty to Sporting Lisbon. And Telehovski, let me promise you this. There's no pressure on this one. He'll score it. He'll score this one because there is no pressure at all. The cup final, when it could have won us a trophy, he bottled it. Now, watch him just glide this one into the corner. Denis Telehovski, there you go. I mean, it was a worse penalty than the one he missed in the final, to be fair. The goalkeeper will be absolutely mortified he's not saved that. But 5 minutes gone in the second half, we're 3-0 up, and that penalty was a disgrace. It didn't deserve to go in. Well, as we approach the hour mark, our visitors have managed their first shot of the game, albeit not on target. And we're going to just avoid any risks here by taking off Laskowski on a yellow card. He'll be replaced by, where are you? Matteo Gabbia. We're going to bring Hervenhoff on for Fatawu, with Silva going out to the right. And in fact, I'm going to take Zacharias off as well. He's been quiet this half. Silva number 10, Garçao on the right. Then in holding midfield, we're going to bring off Redondo for the experienced Braganca. And I'm going to go for Kirkes for Volkan as well. On the left, we'll go fresh legs. 5 changes made. I want to keep it fresh. I want to keep people on their toes. And I want to make sure that we keep the hammer down here. Because I want to win this by as many as possible. So we can then focus on the league until the final. Telehovski's the one that I've had to sort of risk. But he got a few minutes off in the last game, didn't he? And now we've got defending to do with Martinez on the right-hand side into the box. Ramos forced wide. Good defending, but he's lost him now. Ramos into the box. Deflects back to the edge to Mendonca. Oh, that's so poor. You're playing second-tier opposition and you can't even mark the edge of the box. That's disgusting. It's always a race inside as well. We've got a free kick at the other end. We're outnumbering them and should make it 4-1 here if we play it right. Don't be greedy, Braganca. He has been, and it's been saved. That's annoying, because there's 2 men unmarked there. Just pass it and they've got a tap in. Hervenhoff down the right. It's out for a corner. He just hasn't looked sharp since he's back. We've not been able to get him any fitter. And even when he's played in the 21s games or the B team, he's just got injured. as Braganca has got a corner kick in swinger to the back post. Can we restore the 3-goal lead? Because this puts a little bit of doubt in there, doesn't it? So Lima Gasol down the right-hand side. It's intercepted. Mendonca, the scorer, doing the defending. And they've given themselves a lifeline going into the home leg. We saw in the other game, the second-tier side can win at home. And in that game, for us to only win 3-1, really, really frustrating. Chances missed, liberties taken. In the end, we've left the tie open. Let's go and get through to the schedule and see when we're going to be back, because that one's annoyed me a little bit. Well, apparently we're hammered Moreirense, but it's only 3-1 on aggregate. I'm not too excited about that. Let's have a look at what we've got left this season, because obviously the Portuguese Cup Final is going to be a big part of it. I could show the second leg of this, but in truth, we should be through. Or in fact, we've got, look, I think we're going to make 3 more episodes this season. We've got 4 games in succession that are decisive, aren't they? We'll get through the next 5. Then it's Moreirense and Benfica, Braga and Porto. And if we beat Benfica and we're miles clear in the league, we can then just scrap the episode after and come back for what will hopefully be a cup final and Estoril on the final day. But as it stands, the plan is that we'll do these 4 games at the start of April over 2 episodes. And then we'll do the cup final and the last league game of the season. If we manage to get well clear or we're well out of contention after the Benfica match, then we will just leave the other 2 league games. But for now, if you did enjoy this one, then please do put a thumbs up on it. If you want to stay up to date and see how the season finishes, because we've got the second leg of the cup semi-final and a big game against Benfica, 3 points separating us, it could well be the decider. Please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. You won't miss a thing here on the channel. We're also back tomorrow with Southend United, a big second half of the season there, and hopefully we'll be able to win a League Cup in that one, something we're yet to do in that save as well. For now though, there's other links in the eye above to the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and so much more. But thank you for joining me at the start of a new week for more disappointment in cup finals. Still no trophy on the board at Sporting Lisbon. I hope to get closer to changing that when we return in a couple of days' time.